Consider the possibility of completely transforming yourself, adopting a new identity that reflects your true aspirations and potential. Joe Dispenza offers us a practical and scientific guide to achieve just that in How to Create a New You, based on the principle that we are capable of reprogramming our brains and redesigning our personality through conscious intention and meditation. Throughout this journey, Dispenza details 7 fundamental aspects that not only allow us to understand this process, but also to apply it to manifest real and lasting change in our lives. Point 1. Understanding the power of thought. If you have ever doubted the power of your own thoughts, let me show you how they can literally transform your life. Joe Dispenza, a visionary in the fields of neuroscience and personal transformation, enlightens us with his revolutionary approach to how our thoughts are not just fleeting reactions to what happens around us. They are the key to creating a new self. Dispenza teaches that each thought we have produces a chemical reaction in the brain, sending electrical signals that affect every cell in our body. Thus, if we maintain negative or limiting thought patterns, we are literally training our brain to live in a constant state of defense and restriction, which can manifest in our physical and emotional health in ways we may not desire. On the other hand, when we deliberately choose thoughts that are affirmative and uplifting, we can begin to reprogram our brain to experience new possibilities. This is not just theory. It is a reality backed by years of research in the field of neuroplasticity, which shows how the brain can change and adapt to new thoughts and experiences, even in adulthood. Joe Dispenza often uses the analogy of being the sculptor of your own brain. Imagine that each thought is like a strike of the chisel, sculpting in detail the artwork that is your life. Just as a sculptor visualizes his work before beginning, you too can start to visualize and then create the life you desire through your thoughts. This process begins with awareness, the ability to observe your own thoughts and recognize that they do not always reflect your current reality, but are often colored by past experiences, fears, and expectations. By becoming aware of this, you can start to make conscious choices about which thoughts to cultivate. The practice of meditation plays a crucial role here. Dispenza explains that meditating is not just sitting in silence. It is training to manage the mind. During meditation, when you manage to calm the constant flow of thoughts and enter a state of deep relaxation, you allow your brain to reorganize and reconfigure. This is the optimal time to introduce new thoughts and plant the seeds of the new self you wish to cultivate. But how does this translate into everyday life? It can start with something as simple as gratitude. By focusing on what you are thankful for, you change your brain's chemistry to a more positive one, which can improve your overall well-being. Another technique is conscious affirmation. Instead of letting thoughts of doubt and fear dominate your mind, repeat affirmations that reinforce your capacity for change and growth. Phrases like, "I am capable of changing my life," or "I choose to think of possibilities," are powerful mantras that can help you reconfigure the structure of your thinking. As you adopt these new patterns of thought, not only will you change how you feel every day, but you will also begin to attract new experiences and opportunities that resonate with your new state of being. Dispenza reminds us that we are not tied to being the person we were yesterday or even an hour ago. We can begin to change our destiny, thought by thought. In summary, the power of thought is not something to be underestimated. It is the driving force behind every action, every word, and every new page we write in the story of our lives. Joe Dispenza invites us to take control of that force, not just to change our lives, but to create a completely new self. A self that is not limited by the wounds of the past or the doubts of the present, but is vibrant, strong, and continually evolving towards a bright future. Point 2. The role of meditation in personal transformation. Have you ever felt like your mind is like an old TV, constantly flipping channels without your permission? Joe Dispenza offers a powerful and enlightening solution to this inner chaos. Meditation. More than a spiritual practice or relaxation technique, meditation is a fundamental tool for creating a new self, a vehicle that allows us to travel into the depths of our mind and reshape our reality. Dispenza teaches us that meditation not only reduces stress and improves our health, but also allows us to disconnect from the neural networks of the past and create new connections that reflect our true intentions and desires. By meditating, we disconnect from the external world and the countless distractions that bombard us daily, providing a sacred space to focus on who we truly want to be. During meditation, Dispenza explains, we reach altered states of consciousness where the brain stops processing information as it usually does. In these states, brain waves slow down, moving from beta to alpha and even theta, allowing the subconscious to open to new possibilities. This is the ideal moment to plant the seeds of change, as it is when our brain is most receptive to the thoughts and images that define the new self we wish to manifest. Imagine this. Each meditation session is like a training session for your brain. Just like an athlete trains their body for optimal performance, you train your mind to expand its ability to create and experience a new reality. Dispenza often describes this process as updating your brain's software, where each meditation installs new beliefs and removes those that no longer serve. Furthermore, meditation teaches us the art of presence. By focusing on the present moment, we stop being prisoners of our past and stop worrying about the future. Dispenza points out that in the now, in this infinite space of possibilities, is where we can truly affect change. By staying present, we are architects of our destiny, consciously choosing thoughts and emotions that lift us up instead of dragging us down. One of the most inspiring aspects of meditation, according to Dispenza, is how it allows us to experience elevated emotions such as gratitude, love, and joy, regardless of our external circumstances. By cultivating these emotions during meditation, we not only improve our health and well-being, but also attract more experiences that resonate with those elevated states. It's the law of attraction in action, guided by the science of meditation. Therefore, meditation is much more than closing your eyes and silencing the mind. It's a dynamic commitment to creating a new reality. It's an act of rebellion against the limitations imposed by the past and a vote of confidence in the unlimited power of our mind. Each time we sit down to meditate, we are not just seeking peace or tranquility. We are actively reconstructing our being, step by step, thought by thought, towards the person we know we can be. In summary, meditation is one of the most powerful and accessible tools on our journey toward personal transformation. Joe Dispenza invites us to see this practice not just as a part of our daily routine, but as an essential pillar in building the new self. By returning to the meditation cushion time and again, we engage in an act of personal creation that is as real and tangible as any sculpture or painting. Only in this case, the artwork is our life. Point 3. Breaking habitual behavior patterns. Have you ever wondered why we tend to repeat the same behaviors over and over again, even when we know they're not good for us? Joe Dispenza challenges us to confront these habitual patterns, showing us how they result from neural connections that have strengthened over time. These patterns not only define our daily actions, but also shape our identity and our future possibilities. However, the good news, according to Dispenza, is that we have the power to break these patterns and pave the way to a new and transformative life. Dispenza teaches us that every action we repeat is inscribed in our brain like a well-traveled path. The more frequently we perform an action, the deeper this path becomes, and the more likely our brain is to choose this route automatically, without us having to think about it. It's as if our brain is on autopilot, repeating the same programs over and over again. But what happens if these paths lead us in directions we don't want to go? This is where conscious intervention becomes crucial. Dispenza proposes that we can reprogram our brain using various techniques that interrupt these habitual patterns and create new pathways in our brain. One of these techniques is mindfulness, which teaches us to observe our behaviors from a distance without judging them. By becoming aware of our habitual patterns, we can begin to deliberately choose to act differently. Imagine that each decision not to follow a habitual pattern is like planting a seed in fertile ground. At first, it may seem like nothing changes. However, with repetition and dedication, these new seeds will grow and form new paths that will eventually become the preferred routes for our brain. This is what Dispenza calls changing the brain's landscape. It's an exciting, albeit challenging, process similar to cultivating a garden. It requires patience, care, and, above all, consistency. In addition to mindfulness, Dispenza emphasizes the importance of visualization to break habitual behavior patterns. He encourages us to visualize how we would behave in various situations if we were completely free from our current patterns. This practice not only reinforces our new intentions in the brain, but also helps us feel emotionally connected to these new possibilities. Visualization is a powerful tool because it allows us to experience the future in advance, giving us the chance to get accustomed to new ways of being before they actually happen. Another strategy is to change our environment to support changes in behavior. Dispenza suggests that small modifications in our daily environment can have a significant impact on our habitual behavior. For example, if we want to incorporate more exercise into our lives, we might start by placing our sports shoes next to the bed each night. This simple act can make it easier to choose to go for a run instead of skipping it. Breaking habitual behavior patterns is not just about changing what we do, but rediscovering who we can be. It is an act of liberation that allows us to leave behind self-imposed limitations and embrace new experiences. Joe Dispenza encourages us to view this process not as a daunting task, but as an exciting adventure towards discovering our true potential. In conclusion, Dispenza offers a message of hope and empowerment. We are not doomed to repeat our past patterns. With the right tools and clear intention, we can break these patterns and forge a new path toward a richer and more satisfying life. By doing so, we not only change ourselves but also transform the possibilities of our future. Point 4. The importance of visualization in creating a new self. Have you ever daydreamed, imagining vivid scenarios of success and happiness? Joe Dispenza reveals that this act of dreaming is not just a pleasant distraction but a powerful tool for shaping our reality. In How to Create a New You, Dispenza highlights visualization as a key technique for facilitating profound and lasting changes in our lives. Through visualization, we can not only imagine but literally begin to create the version of ourselves we wish to be. Dispenza explains that visualization is effective because the brain does not clearly distinguish between a real and an imagined experience. When we visualize, we activate the same neural networks that would be activated if we were experiencing the situation in reality. This means that by visualizing, we can trick our brain into feeling that we are already experiencing the change, which facilitates its manifestation in our lives. Visualization also plays a crucial role in overcoming self-imposed limitations. Often, our biggest barriers are the beliefs we hold about ourselves and what is possible. By visualizing ourselves overcoming these barriers, we start to believe in the possibility of change. Dispenza encourages us to be bold in our visualizations, to imagine our ideal self in the most vivid details possible, including how we would feel, what we would be doing, and how others would react to us. For example, if you want to be more confident in public, Dispenza suggests visualizing yourself speaking confidently and receiving enthusiastic applause from the audience. You should feel the confidence resonating within you, see the smiling faces of the audience, hear the applause. Each detail added to the visualization strengthens the neural connection associated with that behavior, making it easier to manifest in reality. To make visualization even more effective, Dispenza recommends incorporating it into a meditation routine. While meditating, our mind reaches a more receptive state, and any visualization performed can have a deeper impact. During meditation, we can put aside the distractions of the external world and focus all our attention on creating our new self. It is in these moments of deep introspection that we can consciously build the future we desire. Furthermore, repetition is key. Just like any skill, visualization becomes more powerful the more we practice it. Dispenza suggests making visualization a daily practice, a commitment to ourselves to reinvent our life. Each session is an opportunity to reaffirm our destiny and solidify our path towards personal transformation. Dispenza also highlights the emotional impact of visualization. It is not enough to simply imagine something. We must involve our emotions. By feeling the joy, gratitude, or peace that we associate with our visualizations, we send powerful signals to the universe, attracting those same circumstances into our real life. This is the principle behind the idea that we attract what we are, not what we want. In conclusion, visualization is not just a fantasy. It is a scientifically backed technique that can have transformative effects on our reality. Joe Dispenza invites us to harness the power of our imagination to design and manifest the life we desire. By visualizing regularly and with intention, we not only change our minds, we change our lives. Thus, the next time you find yourself daydreaming, remember that you might be taking the first step towards creating a new and wonderful self. Point 5. How heart-brain coherence can change your life. In the thrilling journey towards self-transformation, Joe Dispenza highlights an often underestimated but crucial aspect: the coherence between the heart and the brain. This essential harmony not only improves our health and well-being, but also has the power to deepen our connection with ourselves and the world around us. Dispenza teaches us that by synchronizing these two powerful organs, we can unlock human potential far beyond what most believe possible. Heart-brain coherence occurs when the emotional signals from the heart and the cognitive impulses from the brain align and work together in perfect synchrony. This state is not only beneficial, it is transformative. Dispenza explains that when we achieve this coherence, our thoughts and emotions unite in a flow that enhances our ability to think clearly, make decisions, and approach life from a new perspective. To illustrate this concept, Dispenza offers the example of gratitude. When we feel true gratitude, our heart emits a powerful signal that can influence our brain to enter a more positive and receptive state. This simple act of feeling gratitude can reduce stress, improve our immune health, and increase our overall sense of well-being. Dispenza suggests regularly practicing exercises that promote this coherence. One of these exercises is heart-focused meditation, where attention is focused on the heart area and breath is consciously directed, imagining that each inhalation and exhalation passes through the heart. During this meditation, practitioners are encouraged to activate a memory or thought that evokes a strong positive emotion, such as love, gratitude, or compassion. This type of meditation not only calms the mind and reduces anxiety, but also sets the stage for a more connected and conscious life. By practicing it regularly, people can begin to experience noticeable changes in how they feel and how they interact with others. Their relationships may improve due to increased empathy and understanding, and they may find themselves making decisions that previously seemed difficult or impossible. Another fascinating aspect of heart-brain coherence is its impact on our intuition. Dispenza mentions studies suggesting that a coherent heart can anticipate future events at a subconscious level before the brain processes them cognitively. This heart intuition can manifest as a gut feeling or a visceral sense that something is right or wrong, guiding our decisions in ways that logic alone cannot. The power of heart-brain coherence also extends to our ability to influence our environment. Dispenza discusses how, in a state of coherence, our energy can synchronize with that of others and the world in general, creating a kind of resonance that can lead to synchronicities and opportunities. It's as if by being in internal harmony, the universe begins to respond in kind, opening doors and presenting paths that were previously hidden. In summary, heart-brain coherence is not just a physiological goal. It is a spiritual and emotional practice that can lead to a richer and more fulfilling life. Joe Dispenza invites us to explore this deep connection as a pathway to achieving not only health and balance, but also to unlocking our creative potential and true purpose in life. By cultivating coherence between our heart and brain, we are not merely improving our own life. We are engaging in a form of personal alchemy that has the power to transform everything we touch. Point 6. The science behind personal transformation. In a world where science and spirituality often seem at odds, Joe Dispenza offers a unifying vision that not only reconciles both worlds, but uses them together to foster personal transformation. Dispenza shows us that lasting change has a solid scientific foundation and guides us through understanding how we can use this knowledge to reconfigure our lives. Personal transformation, according to Dispenza, begins at the most fundamental level of our existence: our cells and our brain. Every thought we have, every emotion we experience, sends chemical signals throughout our body, affecting our physical and emotional well-being. Dispenza explains that when we repeat negative thought patterns or find ourselves in harmful emotional states, we are literally training our body to reside in those states. However, the positive side is equally powerful. By cultivating positive thoughts and emotions, we can initiate a change process that improves our health and happiness. One of the key concepts Dispenza explores is neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections in response to our experiences. Dispenza uses the example of learning to play a musical instrument. At first, our hands may clumsily stumble over the guitar strings, but with constant practice, the neural connections associated with those skills strengthen. Eventually, playing the guitar becomes natural and fluid. Similarly, we can rehearse our thoughts and actions until healthy and positive ways of being become the norm. Furthermore, Dispenza highlights the role of emotional turning points in personal transformation. These are moments when an intense emotion fundamentally changes our perspective, reconfiguring our beliefs and behaviors in the long term. For example, someone who survives a severe accident may experience a renewed appreciation for life that profoundly alters their priorities and future behavior. Such events show how our emotional experiences can be powerful catalysts for personal change. Dispenza also delves into the emerging field of epigenetics to explain how our behaviors and environment can influence the expression of our genes. We are not destined to follow a path predetermined by our DNA. Rather, we have the ability to influence our genes through our decisions and lifestyle. An inspiring example of this is how regular exercise not only improves our physical condition, but can also activate genes that contribute to better health and longevity. Another fascinating aspect Dispenza examines is the effect of group meditations on the collective energy field. Research has suggested that when large groups of people meditate with the intention of peace or healing, measurable changes can occur in society, such as reductions in crime rates. This phenomenon highlights how our intentions and thoughts not only transform our individual lives, but can also have a significant impact on our environment. In conclusion, Joe Dispenza invites us to view personal transformation not as an act of faith, but as an applicable science. By understanding and applying the principles of neuroscience, epigenetics, and quantum physics, we can begin to see real and measurable changes in our lives. This is a call to action not only to transform ourselves, but to contribute to positive change in the world. The science behind personal transformation provides us with the tools. It is up to us to use them to create the life we desire and deserve. Point 7. Integrating changes into daily life for lasting transformation. The journey toward personal transformation is exciting and enlightening, but Joe Dispenza reminds us that the true challenge lies in integrating those changes into our daily lives in a way that they endure. It's not enough to reach moments of enlightenment. We must cultivate habits and behaviors that sustain and reflect our new self in every aspect of our existence. Dispenza teaches us that the key to lasting transformation is consistency. It's easy to feel motivated when we are at a workshop or reading an inspiring book, but the real test is bringing those teachings into the mundane everyday. Dispenza proposes several practical strategies to ensure that changes are not only adopted but maintained over the long term. One technique is to establish daily routines that reinforce new patterns of thinking and behavior. For example, if you have decided to adopt a more positive attitude, you might start each day by listing 3 things you are grateful for. This simple exercise can reprogram your brain to recognize and celebrate the positive, effectively shifting your focus from what is lacking to what is abundant in your life. Dispenza also emphasizes the importance of regular meditation as a tool to maintain and deepen personal changes. Meditating not only at the beginning or end of the day, but also integrating mini meditations of 1 or 2 minutes throughout the day can be extremely effective. These brief moments of mindfulness help recalibrate your emotions and clear your mind, allowing you to respond rather than react to situations that arise. Furthermore, Dispenza suggests that creating an environment that supports your new way of being is vital. This might mean making physical changes in your home or workplace, such as creating a dedicated meditation space or simply getting rid of clutter that no longer serves you. It might also involve the people you choose to spend time with, surrounding yourself with people who support and reflect your values and your new vision for life. Take, for example, someone who wants to be more proactive and less reactive. A useful practice could be to plan the day each morning, setting clear intentions and specific goals. This not only increases productivity but also provides a sense of control and purpose, reducing the likelihood of impulsive reactions. Dispenza reminds us that follow-up is crucial. This could mean keeping a progress journal, where you reflect on what worked and what didn't each day, or it could be a support group where you share experiences and challenges with others on a similar path. Regular reflection allows for continuous adjustments, ensuring that change is not just a phase but a permanent evolution. Moreover, Joe Dispenza encourages his readers to celebrate their achievements, no matter how small. Every step forward, every day that reflects your new values, deserves recognition. These celebrations reinforce positive change and motivate you to continue. In summary, integrating changes into daily life for lasting transformation is a continuous process that requires intention, support, and adaptability. Dispenza inspires us to see each day as an opportunity to solidify and expand our personal transformation. By making small, consistent adjustments, we stay the course toward a more fulfilling and satisfying life, becoming the architect of our reality day by day. Throughout these 7 fundamental points, Joe Dispenza invites us to embark on a journey of personal transformation that promises not just to change how we feel inside, but also how we interact with the world around us. This journey, steeped in science and spirituality, challenges us to break away from our old identities, redefine what we think is possible, and manifest a life that truly resonates with our deepest desires and highest aspirations. Personal transformation is much more than a superficial or temporary change. It is a profound reinvention of our being. Each point addressed becomes a pillar on which we can build a new structure for life, from understanding the power of our thoughts and the importance of meditation, to effectively integrating changes into our daily lives. This process is not just about reaching a desired state and stopping there. It is an ongoing journey of self-discovery and self-improvement. Dispenza teaches us that every thought we choose, every emotion we cultivate, and every action we take plays a crucial role in creating our reality. We are the artists of our existence, with each stroke of our attention and each color of our emotion painting the canvas of our life. And like all great artists, we must learn to be patient with our process, to respect each moment of inspiration and each challenge as opportunities to deepen our art. The changes we wish to see in our lives require more than a fleeting desire. They demand commitment, courage, and above all, consistency. Transformation is a process that occurs in the silence of our minds during meditation, in the decisions we make in times of difficulty, and in the joy we choose to cultivate even when facing challenges. It is an act of bravery, an act of faith in oneself and in the unlimited possibilities that our existence offers. Moreover, this journey is not solitary. Each of us, by changing our own life, contributes to a broader transformation. Our personal vibrations, when elevated, resonate and spread, touching the lives of those around us. By cultivating a life full of coherence, gratitude, and purpose, we inspire others to begin their own journeys, creating a chain of transformation that can have a profound and lasting impact on our community and beyond. Joe Dispenza offers not only a methodology but an inspiring vision of human potential. He reminds us that each of us has the power to create not only the life we desire, but also the person we want to be. No dream is too big when we understand and apply the principles of personal transformation. So as you move forward on this path, remember that every step, every choice, every moment of awareness is a thread in the beautiful tapestry of your life. I invite you to dream boldly, act with heart, and live the extraordinary life you are destined to have.